Hello, and welcome to a gameplay preview for the game Jailbreak. First, we're going to showcase what's in the box. So the base game is going to include 10 mugshots, 6 unique pawns, 6 dice, 4 officer pawns, 24 room cards, 30 officer cards, 30 jailbreak cards, and then 3 stacks of resources. Those are going to be 6 cards each for a key card, a blueprint, and a tool card. You shuffle up your jailbreak cards, your officer cards, and your rooms. Now to build a prison, you lay out your room cards. The normal pattern is going to be 6 by 4. That builds a nice prison, and with each game, it's a different prison. The towers are going to be in different places, the shortcuts are going to be in different places, so it'll really mix it up every time you go to play Jailbreak. This is a sample of what that board's going to look like. Right now we're putting on the officers into their towers. That's their starting spot. The final game will have a better border around each tower card so that you can identify that the towers are off limits unless you have a key card. And for this particular match, we're only going to use 2 different players, a purple cell player and the red cell player. So you can see the towers have the officers in position and that the board itself has shortcuts identified. So B to B, C to C, and A to A. Once you get a tool card, you'll be able to utilize those shortcuts. And the final 3 rooms that were selected right there are the resources. That's your goal. Get those resources. Now, as we start the game, take that shuffled pile of officer cards and the same thing with your jailbreak cards and set them next to the prison. And then you're going to take your resources. Lay the tool cards face up and then take your blueprints, lay them face down because that has the unique room you're going to escape in. So you want to make sure that stays hidden. And then lay your key cards next to it. Before you're about to start, everyone draws a mugshot. So fan out the deck and everyone's going to draw one unique profile. This particular player is going to draw the supplier. It adds +1 to your resource roll. So every time you roll to get a resource, you can add 1 to it. As we start the game, the other position player drew the cat burglar, which allows them 1 diagonal movement per turn. We're rolling to see who goes first. And our purple cell player is now going to be player number 1. A turn in Jailbreak involves drawing a jailbreak card. This is the prison acting against you or for you. This particular case, this person is sent on laundry duty, so they go straight to the laundry room. Now you've got 3 actions. They don't have the ability to take the shortcut to the kitchen, so they're going to do movements for 2 of those actions and either go to one of those 2 resource rooms. The thought process is, let's go get the tool. If we can have the tool, we'll have the ability to take shortcuts all throughout the jail. We're going to roll for a resource, and we got a 6, which is great. Getting a 4, 5, or 6 allows you to collect that resource. Even if we rolled a 3, the supplier allows us to add 1 to that roll. It's a really great mugshot to have. The final movement in your turn is to draw an officer card. This means that you get to pick one of those 4 officers and move them wherever you want. There's very much an offensive-defensive strategy in doing so. We're going to clean up the center of the board and push those officers into the corner. This could come into play to hurt you if someone gets an officer card that could move that one on the tower above them. The next player goes, draws their jailbreak card and gets a weapon, a really great card to have in hand in case you get into an attack. That particular weapon has +2. They're going to do 1 movement, 2 movements, and with their 3rd action, they're going to roll for a resource. A 6. They get the blueprint card. The blueprint actually shows you where they're going to escape. This particular player would escape in the chapel. Once all 3 resources are gathered, that's where they're going to head to escape. Keep that your secret. That way no one knows where you're going. With their officer card, they've got move 1 officer, 1 space. This is a great card to have for them because there's an officer right above the purple player. The officer moves over there and busts player number 1. Player number 1 goes straight to solitary and loses 1 card in their hand. If they had multiple cards, they could pick which one they lose. Since they only had a tool, that's the card that they lost. The purple player starts off. Drawing their jailbreak card says renovation. On a renovation card, they can move any 2 rooms and leave the pawns where they're at, but they can swap any 2 room tiles. What their strategy now is going to entail is let's put the resource right next to solitary. If we ever get busted, maybe we'll be able to recollect one of those resources and then utilize that shortcut. First action is movement. Second action is rolling. a 6 again, rolling really great. Grab the tool card, and there's still one more action. So this player is going to continue down the path and try to make their way to that cafeteria for the second resource. They draw an officer card, but unfortunately, they drew the one busted card in the entire deck. Bad luck is hitting purple player, as the officer, they get to pick which one gets to move, will move right into the kitchen and send them back to solitary, and then they lose that tool card again. Now we look at player number 2. They're going to pull a jailbreak card and get gang attack, lose a key card. Fortunately for them, they don't have a key card, so there's no penalty. Now they're going to move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. Their mugshot allowed them to move 1 diagonal turn per movement. They get move 1 officer to the warden's office. Thank goodness they already got their blueprint, so now this is actually a really cool card for them. They want to open up the center of the board so they can get the other 2 resources, so they're going to grab that officer that's sitting on the kitchen and move it right into the warden's office. Moves it out of their way and it'll block the purple pawn. Now it's player number 1's turn. They get found religion, so that means they get to go to the chapel. Now they've got their 3 actions. On their first action, they're going to move to the cafeteria, and on their second action, they're going to fight. In a battle, both people roll. Highest roll wins. Very simple, however, the element of weapons can come into play, and fortunately for the red player, they have a +2 that gets added to their roll. You only get to use a weapon once, so hopefully this will work out when the 2 players roll. Red gets a 4, and purple gets a 6. This means it's a draw. Unfortunately for the red player, they lose that weapon, and now we have to re-roll. It goes into the discard pile, and then they go at it once more. In a normal match, both people are rolling at the same time. Both get a 1, and then in the final roll, it looks like the red person comes out on top. The winner of the battle will always stay on the room that they're in, and the loser goes to infirmary. And now the purple player uses the officer card for their final movement and draws move 1 officer to the boiler room. They're going to move the officer that's on the warden's office so that way it frees up the ability for them to maybe get into that room. Now we move on to the red player's turn. They're going to draw that jailbreak card and get institutionalized. Institutionalized means that prison's changed you, so you get to draw a new mugshot. These turns go over and over again. So with this particular case, they're going to draw a new mugshot, and that's the identity they're going to assume. It's an escapist. It adds +1 to their roll. These turns go over and over again until everybody gets their resources, which brings us to how do you win? So this gameplay can go anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes depending on players and just luck. At the end of this session, we have our player that's in red with all 3 resources, and now they have to get to the chapel. Unfortunately, the chapel is blocked off by a tower and several officers. This is where utilizing your hand pays off. They've got the tool card, which allows them to take a shortcut from the kitchen to the laundry room. So that's their first move. Their second move is going to bring them to the chapel. And with their third action, they're going to announce, I'm going to escape. I've got all 3 resources. The blueprint is set for the chapel. Now all they need to roll is a 4, 5, or 6. They didn't get it. However, this mugshot is the escapist, which adds +1 to your roll. The red person has won the game. This is just a small sampling of what gameplay would look like with Jailbreak. Throughout the course of the match, it can last anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, and it plays with anywhere from 2 to 6 players. The more people, the more fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed this quick overview of the game. Please continue to watch videos and check out our campaign for future updates. We thank you very much for your support.